An apocalyptic cult leader comes back from the grave to murder the world. Between him and his goals stand a magician and a detective with a strong link to the dark side in Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions.
Time to quantum leap.
Time to quantum leap, bitches. Why? Scotty Bakula is in this.
Yep.
Man, I grew up with that boy, though. So I was like, hell yeah, fucking Scotty Bax is going to be Harry D'Amour.
Scotty Bax is back.
Scotty Bax is back. Book back. Can't speak.
Interestingly, he's the cousin to Gay Racula.
And he's related to Scott Joplin. Nobody knew that one.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, this fucking movie here is from the horror maestro himself, Clive Barker. It was his last directorial endeavor.
A gay man.
A very gay man. And yeah, after this, he just up and quit directing. You know,
Didn't quit dicks, though.
He definitely didn't quit dicks. In fact, when he doesn't have a dick in his mouth, he has a big old cigar, which, let's face it, is a phallic symbol.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I love Clive Barker as a writer, as a painter, as everything that he does. The man has no ends to his art.
As a cock connoisseur.
That's my favorite version. But I also love him as a director. And I've said this before, most people love Hellraiser, which was his directorial debut, full feature-length debut, the most, and then Nightbreed the second most, and Lord of Illusions they kind of just forget, really. I'm the other way around. I like them the other way around. Lord of Illusions is my favorite Clive Barker directed movie. And then you recently saw this for the first time.
No, I've seen it before.
Oh, you'd seen it before. Yeah.
A long time ago when I was a kid. And it's worth to know we're seeing the unrated version.
Yeah, this is the unrated cut. It was released by Scream Factory, aka Shout. And, you know, that's a fucking thing that rips your fucking wallet to shreds.
Yeah, it is.
But was it worth it? Let's talk about it. Pros and cons. Big pro for me, Scotty Bakula, apparently.
Yeah.
Though I really think Scott Bakula not only looks like Harry D'Amour is described, but he really brought that kind of like down on his luck, yet very about his job and very about his business demeanor that was in the D'Amour of the books. You know, he really embodied D'Amour very well, man. I don't know if Clive Barker went and searched the globe for this guy, or it just so happens that's what the studio wanted him to do, but it worked out fantastically. Yeah. The only complaint I have is that D'Amour doesn't have all his tattoos. He does have one on his back, which, you know, that I guess one. But
the more the merrier.
But yeah, man, the more the merrier with this fucking guy. You know, I really love Scotty Bax in this. Big pro for me also is our lead villain, Nix, man.
Yeah.
Wow, what an imposing, ominous presence this guy is.
If you're used to, if you've seen Malcolm in the Middle, it is kind of weird at first.
Yeah. Or Seinfeld. He's Kruger from Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah. Or Thinner.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right. He was actually pretty damn freaky in this. And this is something I didn't remember at all from when I first saw it. So it was kind of neat to go back into it and had that kind of feeling of, man, what is this dude?
Yeah, man. There's just such an air of wonder and mystique and morbid awe. Like, you can see why these people would follow him, but the whole time you question, because, you know, he is a cult leader, the whole time you question is, why would you follow him?
Yeah.
Knowing and seeing what you did, you know, the wonders of miracles, are they enough to hide the terror that's clearly there? And when Nix comes back, you know, when he's not just the prophet, he's not just the guy saying things, but when he's in his full embodied, you know, revenant form,
gooey,
that is one scary motherfucker, man. Just the idea, just the line, I was born to murder the world. He delivers it, you know, in anybody other's lips, it could just come off as silly. But, you know, he says it with such a presence that you feel that, you know, you feel the threat of it.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where it kind of makes you wish the guy had done more roles like it.
Yeah, really.
We saw he was one of the few good things in Thinner, in that he had a presence and the way he said shit was good. It's just unfortunately the movie let him down.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he's great in Malcolm in the Middle. but yeah, I really wish this guy had done more
serious horror, yeah, especially
evil roles.
Yeah,
because he's great.
He is so good, man. Nix is one of those villains that, despite having such a small screen presence, because really you see him at the beginning, you see him die, and then the whole movie's building up to his return. And boy, does it deliver, man. You know, and it doesn't need like huge effects or not. Just the idea of this guy coming back, you can feel it in the movie.
Yeah, everybody's scared of him. And...
Yeah, or wanting it so bad that they're willing to destroy their own bodies for it. It's crazy, man. They really build up that sense of ominous dread and expectation, which brings me to another pro I gotta say in this is the cult members. This stuff was excised from the theatrical cut, you know, seeing the cult members abandon the normal lives that they had taken up after Nix is killed just to return to him. That stuff is hauntingly fucking scary, man, and I can't believe they took that out of the theatrical cut. It's not Clive Barker's fault the studio made him do it, but I am so glad to see that stuff in there because it is as freaky as it was when the first time I saw it. And the first time I saw this uncut was the VHS tape, and you know, it freaked me out. This movie freaked me out when I was a kid, man. I gave away my VHS tape and I had to buy another one because I was like, damn, that's just a haunting idea, you know?
It was like Guardian with Maximum Overdrive, except Maximum Overdrive is garbage.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man. And really across the board, the acting in this is really good, man. Really top notch. Now, I'm a huge fan of illusionism and magic and stuff like that.
This episode is sponsored by David Blaine. He's in our buttholes right now.
Read up on that. I love David Blaine, man. But
look up David Blaine butthole.
Yeah, I hope we didn't do that. But anyway, because I am a huge fan of illusionism and the history of magic and all that stuff, that part of the movie really, really intrigued me and just made the movie all the richer and sweeter for me. So that's a big pro for me. Hit me with some of your pros, man.
If you like the guy from The Mummy, he's in this. So that's
Kevin J. O'Connor, yeah.
He's pretty damn good. I'm not even going to lie. But that's really has to do with the performances. I think everybody's really good. The atmosphere in this movie is a big pro for me. It all has that kind of freaky, impending doom feel.
Yeah.
It does kind of have a noirish feel, but I think that is mostly towards the first and second act. The third act just gets so freaking bonkers and weird that it kind of leaves that plot line behind. You know what I mean? In some way. But it replaces it with something even more interesting, which is good.
I think, just to elaborate on that real quick, I think Barker handled that so wonderfully, man, because it is a very noir movie, you know? We got the down in his luck gumshoe, the pretty dame that hires him to do this job, the job that goes from normal to completely out of this world, you know? All the setups of noir are there. The music is very noir-esque. And then, it turns out that in this one, kind of like in The Big Lebowski, which is a noir movie, you know, only this is a deadly serious horror movie. Here, the job going from normal to bizarre goes to outlandishly, supernaturally fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think that was such a great, because you don't even notice as you leave that.
Yeah.
It just organically comes.
It just kind of leaves it behind, and you're like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hear me out on this one. This is a pro, and you might not see it, but hear me out. This movie kind of reminded me, upon rewatching, of oh my god, what's it called? The one with freaking gay Gandalf. The movie we saw.
Keep?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of The Keep for some reason, and in its structure, you know, it starts a certain way and then it ends in a completely different way, and it has this kind of weird. Ancient evil in there and shit.
Yeah.
It
has a kind of like a dreamlike feel.
Yeah,
at
the
times.
dreamlike feel. It reminded me of that, and I really liked that movie despite me not remembering it. So that was the name of it. So that's always a good thing for me. So that's another pro. I can put this one and The Keep up there with movies that are freaky and have that weird dreamlike feel.
I think another pro for this movie, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, is the effects. I'm talking the physical effects in this, and the sets. Look gorgeous, man. They're really cool, and they use a lot of actual locations in this as well. The Magic Castle, most notably, you know, and you know, just really nice, big mansions, dirty hovels in the desert. The sets are amazing, man, and the physical effects when they come are gruesome, but they're not the focus of the movie. You know, you know, as typical with Barker, he makes the grotesque almost beautiful, and that here it's disturbingly beautiful, you know, because it comes at these moments. I
think the final effect with Nix, like with all that shit coming out.
Oh yeah, that was neat.
That was
man.
freaky.
That was really neat. Yeah, some really great physical effects. And there are some CGI effects in this, and some of them have not dated well in terms of how they look.
Yeah, that have that kind of like different color palette when so you knows when something's
and then
gonna come.
there's this part with the origami. They call it the origami effect. Where one of the magicians, played by Kevin J. O'Connor, appears in the form of this kind of viscous, amorphous blob that turns into this origami man. Really cool concept. So cool that the fact that the effect is not 100%, it didn't date well.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because
it's more the idea that's
the idea is so good and so rich, and it just felt like so Clive Barker that it still worked. Another effect that still works for me, I don't know if it did for you, is when Nix infects people with his view of the world.
Oh yeah.
They see it as this kind of CGI melt, where you see just like filth underneath people.
It's kind of like sped up almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty cool looking. It does have that kind of like did this age well thing quality to it, but I think ultimately it looks cool enough so that you're like, that's cool.
Yeah, and again,
I think it was intentional to look that way too.
Yeah, and I think again, ultimately, the idea is so strong that it still works. So. Yeah, man, whether it be the CGI, though lacking and didn't age well, it still works, and the physical effects are fantastic. So yeah, all that is wonderful. The music is wonderful. The atmosphere is wonderful. Big pros for me. Any cons for you in this movie?
A con is this movie kind of made me crave a Butterfinger. And then I had it, and it tasted like shit.
Why a Butterfinger?
Because that guy's name is very close to Butterfinger.
Oh, Butterfield?
That's the only con I can think of because this movie's pretty damn great.
The only con I can think of is that Azamat didn't have a bigger role.
Damn!
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Borat, Azamat is in a scene in this movie. Yeah. And I would have been totally okay with him just hijacking the movie. And he's like the main character.
He had like the main role. He was both Nix and...
It's not even a horror movie. It was just Azamat's day. Yeah. He's showering and stuff.
He was quantum leaping to different time periods.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I can't think of a negative for this movie. I have always loved this movie. It is as freaky and unsettling and weird, and it has one of the strongest and most underappreciated bad guys in horror history.
Another pro is pretty Lovecraftian.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. And if you're a fan, and this is a big pro if you're a reader, if you're a fan of Harry D'Amour, there is a Lord of Illusions book, or I should say novella, and it's called The Last Illusion, and it's very different to the movie. So Clive Barker didn't just want to make the book. He actually just wrote another Harry D'Amour story. So if you've just read the novella, this is a completely different way to see that. If you've read other Harry D'Amour books, like the Books of the Art, this is another way to see Harry. Harry's just such an interesting character. And, if you're a fan of Constantine, this guy, they came up at the same time, and they're very similar. So
like Keanu?
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, man. Just extra texture to what's there. But yeah, I can't think of any negatives personally. Glad to hear you enjoyed it so much. Let's give this some final thoughts and a final score on a scale of 1 to 10. Hit me with it.
I had seen this before, and I didn't remember it very well. I actually remember not liking it. So it was pretty neat to watch it again and be like, hey, it's freaking badass. I, as a youngin', was a moron. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite movies we've seen this year. I know it didn't come out this year, but we saw it this year, so eat a dick. Time. I'm gonna quantum leap back to the past. I don't know if that's how quantum leap works. I'm just assuming it does. It has that perfect feel of you want to know more, but then when you learn more, you're like, ugh, kind of don't want to know more anymore. Don't show me more. It's freaky.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And final score?
Final score, I gotta give this baby a 10. That was pretty damn great. Now, obviously, this is in the horror scale, not compared to Paddington, which we all know it would be a 0.
Which we all know is better than Citizen Kane. Yeah, man, this is one of my 10 horror movies, man. I love this movie. Every time it gets me under the skin, gives me the old willies. I'm a willy even.
Yeah. Azamat's in it.
Dude, Nix alone, would have made if the movie sucked and Nix was as he was, this movie would still get a fucking 10. He's it's just such an amazingly haunting, eerie fucking character.
I hear there's going to be a remake where Nicolas Cage plays Nix.
I would watch that, sadly. And it would be really bad, but I would watch it. But yeah, man. But thankfully, the whole movie works, and there's so much. And as a fan of Clive Barker, this is like the complete package for me. I get a Harry D'Amour movie with somebody actually playing him cool, and then the villain is just one of his best. Love it. Highly recommend it. Check it out, man. Such an underappreciated film. Hit like, share, subscribe, notification buttons. Tell us what you thought about it if you saw it.
We're out.
Oh, we're out, baby. We're out. Go!